We have a new king at welterweight. Jack Della Maddalena has thrown a spanner in the works at 155 pounds. Valentina Shevchenko knocks back the challenge of Mano Fiorot as she still reigns supreme at 125 pounds. We may have a new contender at 125 pounds for the women's division. Benoit Saint-Denis finally gets back in the winning column, and we have a retirement from an absolute bona fide legend. People, it's UFC 315 recap live. Let's get into it. Yes, people, big up to yourselves. Please do smash that like button. On the road to 7,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, trying to desperately get there before the end of the month. And I'll be very, very grateful if you could hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Right. Going into UFC 315, there were so many things. And for the first time in his career, Belal Muhammad was the talk of the town. He was a champion going in. The talk was if he won, he'd be fighting Shavkat potentially next, or Ian Machado Gary, or someone else at 170. And it would mean that Makhachev is probably going to fight Topuria at 155. Everyone, or should I say most people, had Belal as the bookie favorites. The last time Della Maddalena fought was against Gilbert Burns, and he was taken down a few times. And everyone saw what Belal did to Leon Edwards. We all thought, it's kind of going to be one of those things. But it didn't happen. JDM has thrown a spanner in the works. We all know Islam Makhachev wouldn't fight Belal Muhammad, but since yesterday, or shall I say this morning's fights, Islam Makhachev has taken to Twitter and said that he will be fighting and going for double champ status. He also sent his commiserations to Belal Muhammad, and it looks as though Topuria is not going to be fighting Makhachev next. However, Topuria's come out and said he's not fighting unless it's for an undisputed belt, given that he gave up his undisputed belt at 145 pounds. I tell you who's the biggest winner out of this, apart from JDM, obviously. Probably Charles Oliveira. It looks like Charles Oliveira will be now getting that title shot, whether it be interim or undisputed. So much to unpack. However, I'm going to unpack that a bit more in tomorrow's show. So a little bit of a suspense cliffhanger, so to speak. But let's speak about JDM, because he was absolutely brilliant. In fact, let's speak about the fight. Many people kept on going, it's a Belal Muhammad fight. It's going to be boring, this, that, and the other. It's a Belal Muhammad card. It's going to be boring. Anything but. Belal Muhammad, when he chooses not to be, is a very exciting fighter, it seems. He stood out there and pretty much traded with Jack Della Maddalena on the feet for the whole fight. Tried a few takedowns. It's MMA, so yeah, it should be done. JDM pretty much stuffed most of the takedowns, and he actually scored his first takedown in round 4. JDM's boxing and striking was so crisp and clean. But I tell you what, for all the cardio we speak about Belal, for all the heart he's got, that man has got a chin. What a chin on Belal Muhammad. JDM caught him clean with some really strong strikes. Belal just ate it and kept on marching forward. Belal Muhammad has his critics, and I understand why. He's not the most likable person. He can come across very arrogant. Maybe he overrates himself. I think yesterday maybe shows that he does overrate himself. I tell you what, though, that guy is tough, and he deserves the respect of the MMA community today. You may not like him, but you have to respect him today. JDM, over the moon for him. Very unassuming, very quiet guy. But when he steps in between those gates in that cage, he's an absolute animal. And I tell you what, he may be the quietest person in the room with his mouth, but he's the loudest in the room with his hands, because he can bloody fight and he can box his ass off. And he really did that. He deserved a win. I don't think there was any controversy in the result. I had it 3-2. I spoke to Calvin, my brother. He watched it as well. He had it 4-1 for JDM. I think Luke and Jamie both had it 3 rounds too. By the way, obviously, go and shout out to Luke and Jamie. Make sure you subscribe to both their channels. Links are in the description as well. Big up Vex Blazer. Big up Andre, my Sabozli brother. Scans, Ash, N. Gibbs in the building. Hope you're all well. What a fight. In terms of fight of the year, that's a candidate already for fight of the year. It's a candidate for main event of the year so far as well this year. What a fight by both men, and I'm intrigued to see what both of them do next. I think we know what JDM is going to be doing next. I'm intrigued to see what happens with Bilal next. Really intrigued. On to the co-main event and the other title fight on the card, and that was Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko, aka Valentina Phillips, if you know, you know, taking on Maino Fiorot. Now, going into the fight, Valentina was a betting underdog. Fiorot was on a crazy win streak. Hey, shout out to my brother Luke in the chat. Hope you're well, brother. Big up Mantis, bring up Douglas as well. Valentina was the betting underdog going into the fight. Fiorot was on a crazy win streak. The bigger woman, perceived to be the more powerful woman. Once again, Shevchenko does what Shevchenko does. She figures out her fighter that is in front of her, puts a game plan together, implements said game plan, and wins. And look, I'll be real. Me, Luke, and Jay, we didn't know which way the fight was going to go when the decision was being read out. I've had a chance to watch the fight back. Valentina won clear. She did win that clearly. I had it 3 rounds to 2. Could even argue 4 rounds to 1 for Valentina. Fiorot was competitive. Watching it back, though, Valentina won the fight. She was very good. And look, you guys know what I want when it comes to Valentina. There's only one fight I want to see her fight. And this is no disrespect to someone I'm going to speak about in a minute. There's only one fight for Valentina. Wei Li versus Valentina super fight. Make it happen, please. Make it happen. Wei Li, Valentina, super fight. Get it signed. No excuses now. She's just beaten the #1 contender. I know there's a new #1 contender. She's just beaten the #1 contender. Sign the contracts, UFC. Do the right thing, man. Do the right thing. On to the King of Rio, who fought against Ariel Helwani's long-lost twin, Zahabi. What a fight this was. Aldo clearly won the first round. I think Zahabi clearly won the second round. Going into the third round, it was a pick and fight. Aldo scores the knockdown. Looks like he's about to finish the fight. Then he looks like he gassed himself out, and Zahabi batters him from that point until the end of the round. I've seen a lot of people online saying that it was a robbery and that Aldo should have won. I think that's a fight that could have gone either way. And when I say that, that means it's not a robbery. I wouldn't have been upset if Aldo got the decision. I wasn't upset as Zahabi got the decision. You could make an argument that Aldo was close finishing the fight. You could make an argument that Zahabi was close finishing the fight. I think maybe why the judges sided a little bit more with Zahabi is because he had more sustained pressure. The flurry from Aldo, which almost finished him, maybe lasted about 25 seconds. Zahabi was on top of Aldo, raining down elbows and punches for the best part of 2.5 minutes. So I can understand why, even if most people don't agree with it. But the story isn't necessarily Zahabi winning, and we'll speak about who he could be matched up with next over the next couple of days. Aldo retiring or seemingly retiring. I don't know if Aldo gets the credit he deserves. And we'll go into more detail on Tuesday and come back catch up with Jay and Luke, hopefully. Aldo's career, man. I know the word legend gets thrown about a lot. That guy right there is a legend. And for what he went through with the Conor situation, and for people to not even really remember that and bring it up too much, speaks on how much work he's done since that and how much work he did before that. That was the lowest point of his career. And he could have easily just filtered away and drifted off into the sunset. He said, nah, I'm still going to show everyone I'm that guy. Aldo is one of literally the greatest MMA fighters to have ever lived. 145 pounds, easily on the Mount Rushmore. MMA full stop, could be on the Mount Rushmore there as well. Jose Aldo, if that was your last fight, thank you for everything you've done for MMA fans across the world. And if you're going to go into boxing, wish you all the luck with boxing as well, big man. Fantastic fighter. Did things the right way. and a brilliant, brilliant example for the whole sport as well. Absolute legend and Hall of Famer, Jose Aldo. Onto another Brazilian who's making her way through the rankings, and she's going to have a 1 next to her name after the rankings come out on Tuesday, I believe. And that is a silver. Like, wow. What a performance against Grasso. Natalia Silva. I mean, we've seen Grasso get beaten recently by Valentina Shevchenko, but Valentina implemented her wrestling pretty much. We've not seen Grasso get pieced up on the feet like that. Grasso's face was a mess, an absolute mess. She got beaten from pillar to post, and Silva didn't even look like she got out of second gear. She is so good. So good. And I don't know if we all realized just how good she was until we saw this fight. She is truly, truly fantastic. Now, we don't know what her takedown defense is like. And you look at someone like matching her up with someone like a Valentina. I don't know if she has that success in the striking with Valentina or on the ground. And you'd think that Valentina could take her down because Valentina's pretty much taken everyone down. But what a fighter she is. And look, she could be the new breed at 125 pounds. She could be the next iteration of female fighters. And look, if she's going to be the next 125 pound champion, if Valentina decides to retire soon, 125 pounds is in good hands. Natalia Silva is the truth, and she proved it in that fight. What for Alexa Grasso next, though? Because that's 2 back-to-back defeats, one against the champion and one against the new #1 contender. I'm intrigued. I think she needs to take a bit of time away and assess what she's going to do next. But she's been handily beaten and convincingly beaten in the last 2 fights she's fought in. And then the first fight that kicks everything off was BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis, against the Canadian Protech. And look, it was an expected win for BSD. They kind of fed him a nice little fight, to be honest. And he did what he had to do. I still think there's question marks over BSD. 2 minutes. Be 2 minutes. And I still think he's got a lot to prove, especially 155 pounds. But look, he needed a win. He needed to get a W back in that column, and he's got that. So it's up to him how he rebuilds himself, and up to UFC. He still was getting caught with punches. And if you fighting a high caliber of a fighter, it's not going to be good for him getting punched in the face like that. But it's how he fights. He bites down the gum shield, he marches forward, and he does what he does. It's why he's a fan favorite amongst a lot of the MMA community. But if he wants to fight and be a title challenger, he's have to change a lot in his game and iron out a lot of the wrinkles in his game, in my opinion, as well. On the prelims, Mike Mallow won in a eagerly anticipated and grudge match. And some other good fights on the prelims as well. So if you haven't checked those out. But people, I'm going to wrap up there. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. I'm going to see who's live at, where I can redirect to. Let me see who is live at the moment. Let me have a look. Bear with me a moment, guys. Bear with me a moment. Redirect. Let's see who's live. Let's see. Jamie's live. Right, guys, Jamie's live. You'll be redirected to Jamie's channel. When you go over there, just say Sanderson Raid, or hashtag Valentina. I'm sure he'll like that one better. Just use hashtag Valentina and just tell him I sent you over. Big up to Luke as always. I don't know if you're still in the chat, bro. Big up to yourself as always. Big up to Jamie as well. Smash that like button, subscribe to their channels as well, people. It's been another one. UFC 315 is in the books. Another fantastic event. And look, if I'm going to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I thought the main card was excellent, if I'm going to be honest. So let me know your thoughts, people. Till I see you again, which will be tomorrow. Take it all easy, people, and see you soon. Have a good one. Take care.